Let's turn our attention to what's been happening in the tech space and specifically with IPOs and with deals. So let's begin with a deal that it has been widely reported will be announced later today, and that is Salesforce acquiring Slack. Salesforce is set to come out with its latest quarterly report after the closing bell today. CNBC's David Faber reporting yesterday that the deal would be, quote, at a premium to Slack's valuation, which right now is $24 billion. Brian Sozzi would be half in cash, half in stock. And it's an interesting deal on a number of levels. Salesforce trying to compete with Microsoft once again, but also speaks to what we've heard from some of our guests on this program, animal spirits coming back into the market.
Well, Myles, I think, by most indications, this deal might get done around $25 billion. And Slack's market cap now is about $25 billion. So wouldn't be surprised to hear that number cross the wires. But for Salesforce, I think their recent acquisitions, you look at Tableau, they have been emboldened by their integrations, which for the most part have been successful to try to pull off what could be the largest acquisition in the company's history. And then with Salesforce really look to end the dominance of email. I've talked to Slack's co-founder, Stuart Butterfield, many times. He is really obsessed with ending email. But I think at this point, he realizes it's probably a better idea to join forces with the Salesforce, get their scale, get more into enterprise and reach more enterprise customers to get to that mission of eventually ending email. I don't know if it'll happen, but they might get a little closer to it.
It's so interesting to me, the valuation at which something like this could happen, right? Given what the stock has done this year, the idea that Salesforce would come in at these levels and make a purchase. I mean, you look at the so-called work from home landscape, right? You look at a Zoom, you look at some of the other companies that have really benefited, a Peloton, for example. We haven't seen any deals, really. This would be the first of those, the first big one of these work from home companies. And they're having to pay up for it because of what we have seen this year.
It's interesting, though, if you look at as you look at Salesforce's strategy, though, for the last decade plus, right? Mark Benioff loves to use his stock as currency, and that their stock has almost doubled so far this year. In fact, to its highs, it more than doubled. It hasn't been at its high since mid-August. But there's certainly, I guess, Julie, even if they're paying that premium for Slack, it certainly to Salesforce still seems like something of a discount, at least considering what their in-house currency, if you want to think about it that way, has done in the last few months. Yes, Oz?
No, I was just going to add, what you're seeing is, one, Salesforce pay up to potentially try to end email, but also, two, Slack has had a promising service called Slack Connect or Slack Direct. And really, what they've tried to do is connect one corporation to another. And that has not necessarily worked out too great just yet. It's been a hard sell, but it could become a much easier sell just given once you're under that Salesforce umbrella and you have a lot of the connections in the enterprise space.
Yeah, I think perhaps in the media space, because Slack has had such big uptake here, we get lost on how popular it really is kind of across the enterprise stack where Salesforce is working a bit more closely.